Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are making money as usual. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how I was able to pass my phase 2 200k with FTMO. So basically last week I've made a video how I was able to pass my phase 1 and you guys love that video. So if you've not watched it yet, make sure you go and check it out. But in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how I passed my phase 2. But the most important part is I'm going to break down every single loss I've taken on this account. So every losses, I'm going to break it down, as well as the win that took to make the percentage gain, that 5%, and I was able to pass the challenge. So I'm going to break down everything for you guys so you can learn from it, and you can, if you want to go for a challenge as well, you can replicate on your account. But one thing I have to tell you guys is, for me to be able to pass those challenge and make money on the live account and getting payout, is all about me having a winning strategy and me following my trading plan. So for the strategy, if you already have a strategy that works, you have to follow your trading plan to be able to pass the challenge. But if you don't have a winning strategy, you can also join my mentorship. You can check the link below this video. It will give you access to the full course, or you can also just watch this video, which will actually give you a lot of free value, which you can also apply to be able to pass your challenge. So if you're interested, let's get into this video so I can teach you everything I apply to pass my phase 2. And I also got my live account, which was today, and as I'm making this video, I've already made about 1.5%, which is $3,000 on this account here, and I've already secured a payout. So I'm gonna wait for the payout, and eventually I'm also gonna make another video soon, so I'll break down exactly how I was able to make this $3,000 on my account. So let's get into this video first, but make sure you check the video I'm gonna post later, because that would be how I made that $3,000. And guess what? The payout is on 1st January. So I'm getting the payout basically on Happy New Year, which is crazy. I think they might not process my payout on Happy New Year, but it's just crazy that my payout date exactly is on Happy New Year. But let's get into my chart. So I'll break down exactly how I was able to do all the things. So basically, these are the setup I've taken. I've started with 3 losses on a row, which is crazy, but I was actually able to get 2 wins on a row as well, and that was enough for me to pass the challenge. And as you guys see now, 3 losses and then 2 wins, I was able to pass. That means that I actually follow a good risk management, a trade management. So let's explain why I've taken these 3 losses and also how I was able to catch this, so I was able to pass the things. So first thing that you want to do is you want to look at the higher time frame. When I come to the higher time frame and I try to replay price, I'm gonna replay price exactly here so you guys can see what's happening on the higher time frame. So when I replay here and I go to something like the H4, at first I thought that price is going bullish. The reason why I was bullish is because if you look well, we have some upside liquidity here that I expected price to go and take out that liquidity. Yeah, so as I'm saying, we have this liquidity that I expect the price to go to take. So what I'm looking at this thing is I was looking for something like this and then something like this, and price come and take this liquidity, and eventually if it wants to go down, it can go down after taking the liquidity. So that was the idea I have, but that was not the market wanted to go, what the market wanted to do. So as I have this, and Asia gave a massive sell, I think that sell came and mitigated this sort of PY here. We have this massive order block here, so price came, mitigated this and start giving a buy. So as price giving this buy here, I expected price to go take the Asia high and eventually keep going to my higher time frame. So that was the idea I have. And also you guys have to understand, every single time I get a setup, I always look for a liquidity grab and then a setup. So that means that for me to look for a buy, I need like liquidity, price come take the liquidity and give me a buy. The same way, if I have a sell setup, I need a liquidity, price come take the liquidity and then give me a sell setup. So in this case here, this was that liquidity I've had, and then all I wanted to do is I wanted to see this is my trading, my London session open here, and if you see well what's happening here, price been creating more liquidity. Does that make sense? We have this sort of upside liquidity here, so I expected price to go and take them out at a point. So that's why I waited for price came into this liquidity. So after this liquidity got taken and price started buying, the way price bought here, I did not see anything like a change of character for me for a buy. Like the best buy setup I could have is price does this and then does this, but this case here you can see that price did not take this low here. So the fact that price did not take this low alone was already a reason why price failed, because there's no liquidity grab on the confirmation entry side. But for me, I was like, well, there's just way too much liquidity for price to leave, so I just expected price to go and take out the whole liquidity. So from here, I just click buy, and if I show you here, is exactly at that zone you see there. I think my entry was even somewhere above. If you see, well, my entry was like pretty much somewhere here. So this was the kind of buy setup I have, and as I'm risking 1%, my target was like pretty much 5 hour. So I had like a 5 hour target, yeah. So all I was looking for is a 5 hour. But eventually, as soon as I click buy, price started going down. So I had a sniper entry to stop loss basically. So after price hitting my stop loss, I was like, well, I'm gonna look for another setup. And in this case here, I've seen that price took this low, right? Do you see that price has taken this low? And after price has taken this low, what did price do else? Price gave me a change of character to the upside. So in this case here, I have a clean change of character to the upside, and then price gave a pullback to this sort of extreme POI on the 5-minute chart, and I expected price to go bullish from there. So I have another buy setup there, and this buy setup is exactly here as you can see there, and price took me out. As you can see, that was the second stop loss I've taken, and eventually price went a bit in profit, and then he ended up and he went down and he went to my stop loss. So that was second stop loss. And as you guys know me, I don't like taking more than 2 stop losses on a session. If I take 2 stop losses on a trading session, then I either wait for another day or I wait for another setup, which is, let's say, at the end of the session or another session. I don't know if that makes sense. So in this case here, after me taking 2 losses, I've went off. I didn't care about anything that the market was doing. The market went massively down, like it went massively for a sell. So after price went massively for a sell, you may ask me, if price went down like massive, in this case I'm saying here, why was I looking to buy still? Okay, the reason why I was looking to buy, this was where I had that last buy, that last stop loss I had, and then price gave me a stop loss. As you can see, if I open here, that is exactly the third stop loss I have. And the reason why I actually had that buy, I think, was kind of silly, but if you go to the higher time frame, you'll understand the reason why I had that. So when you go to the higher time frame, you'll see that price came and took this low here. Do you see this liquidity? Or was even before the liquidity grab? I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, it was before the liquidity. Yeah, so I think it was this sort of PY on the 30-minute. Yeah, so this PY on the 30-minute, and I've seen this sort of bullish reaction. I thought maybe price now getting ready to go up because I was bullish. Remember, when I trade, I have a bias. When my bias is bullish, I'm only looking for buy setup. When my bias is bearish, I'm only looking for sell setup. It's good and it's bad. It's bad because if my bias is bullish and price going bearish, then eventually I'm just going to take losses, but I'm going to take break evens. So this was the case where I was bullish on gold and gold was going bearish, right? And eventually gold gave me these 3 losses. So I've had 3 losses for the day. So I was down like, I don't know, 3% to 3.5% something. And I'm like, nah, I'm done for the day. I went off and I'm like, I'm waiting for another day. So in this case here, if you try to do the calculation, I had 3 losses here, which I think I should be down 6,000, but I was down, I think more than 6,000 because some slippage and some position that I open and I close and blah blah blah. So let's say that I was down like 4 hour. Okay, let's take it like I was down 4 hour. So if all of this here, I was down 4 hour, right? So basically these two setup, this was a 7 hour and this was a 2 hour. So those two here will give you 9 hour, right? These two here will give you 9 hour. So if you take 9 hour here and then minus the 4 hour, it will give you what? It will give you 5 hour, and 5 hour that make the 5% for you. So that's one thing I do with my trade management. So when I know I take 3 losses on a row, I know that I need to hit at least 8 to 9 hour for me to recover everything and pass the challenge. So as soon as I see a setup that is giving me that risk reward I want, then I'm done. Okay, I'm done. As easy as that. So how was I able to get these two setup? So let me go to the lower time frame. First, you have to understand the higher time frame. As soon as I understood that this thing was going bearish, I was now looking for sales. Remember, my bias is really important. As you can see, I have 3 trading days here. This, yeah. So you have what? This here was 3 losses because I missed the bias. This good bias, and I got what? 9 hour, right? And then today, this is today's price action. Today's price action, I was able to pass phase 2 for a friend. like 100k phase 2, and also I was able to make that $3,000 on my live account. So basically today, what did I get? I get a 14R, and I get another 5R here, and I got another I don't know how many RR I got here. Yeah, 5R. I got 2 5R. So basically I got 24R today, right? So if you try to do the calculation, the day I lost the bias, or I missed the bias, I lost 3R, and then this day I got it right, I got 9R, and this day I got it right, I got 24R. And if you add everything together, that makes sense, the reason why I'm profitable, because I may have 3 losses in a day, which is the day that I missed the bias, but then those other days where I'm right, I make some good amount of risk reward, and that allows me to recover the losses from the one that I lost, and then be able to make more money. I hope that makes sense. So that's how I do my things. So now let me go to the lower time frame. As I was expecting price to go bearish now, let me go to the lower time frame where I have this setup. So as on this setup, you see it's really easy to explain. Okay, so when I come here, we clearly have price did this, right? Price did this, and from here I've seen that price created a buy setup. Some people may have had a buy here, and if I remember, without even joking, I even had a buy there, right? I had a buy 5 lot. I closed at around 0.5% loss, right? I don't know if you can see it. I've closed for around 0.4% loss. And then I expected, I've seen that this is setting up for a sell setup, so I shifted my bias as well. So here I was first bullish, but then I'm like, nah, this is gonna go down. So I closed my buy setup and I opened a sell, and eventually this thing went down. So what happened? Price created a buy setup, and eventually it failed it. So as it failed it, it created a breaker block. Do you guys see that? You have a breaker block on the 3-minute time frame. Okay, if I go to something like the 3-minute, you'll see that you have a 3-minute breaker block here, and then if I come back to the 5-minute, you also have a 5-minute breaker block. So the one, I think the safest stop loss you can have is on the 5-minute breaker block. So I have my stop loss above the 5-minute breaker block. And where was my TP? At first my TP would have been exactly at this line here, because you have a buildup of liquidity. You expect the price to drop and take the liquidity, so this would have been like my first TP. But remember, me, when I trade and I'm trying to pass a challenge, I have a risk reward that will help me to recover loss and pass a challenge. Okay, that's how I see my things. So first, that was the TP I have, and then the second TP I have, I think if you go to the higher time frame, you'll see it better, but on the daily you don't really see it on the daily. So let me try to take this chart so you can see it for some reason. Yeah, so when you come here, you can clearly see that you have a gap. Do you see you have a gap here? So you have a volume imbalance that you expect the price to come and fill. So I have a higher time frame zone that I expect the price to go and fill it out. Okay, so that was the reason why I extended my TP. But guess what price has done with me? So when I come back here, okay, when I come back inside of this, price drop. My TP, originally my TP was somewhere here. Okay, price drop, price came to my TP, it missed my TP. Okay, it missed my TP by 0.1 pip. I was so pissed, but eventually price started giving a buy. I took a re-entry. I can even show you guys here after taking a re-entry. Price took me out on the re-entry, and then I took another re-entry, and then I took another re-entry, and eventually I got the re-entry that worked out. As you can see, I've had one re-entry somewhere here, and then that was just a small loss, and I took another re-entry, which was a 2R, right? So what did I do? As I took this re-entry, which was running for 2R, I had my TP, I had the TP, the two TPs are pretty much the same place here. Like, there's a small difference in price. As you can see, there's a small difference in price, but this were all I have my TP, and my TP was basically for me to be passing the challenge. And on this huge setup here, I've made 7%. Okay, as I told you guys, it was a 7R setup. So yeah, it was a 7R setup, and I made 15 what, 15,000 on that setup, which is like 7.5% on that one setup. And this one I made 1% on it, and that was enough for me to recover all the losses and pass my phase 2 with FTMO. And I can 100% tell you guys that I've never had a 200k live account in my life, and this is pretty nice, and I've already secured a payout, which I'm really happy. As you can see here, I'm very happy that I was able to get or secure the payout for first January 2025. So I'm pretty much done trading for this year, or at least this is the last trading week I'm having. Next week I'm not gonna trade it anymore. So if you guys are trading this week, I hope you guys the best, and if you have any question, feel free to reach out to me, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you.